My name is Gabby, and I spent my summer at Kansas State University's Veterinary Health Center in Manhattan. I attend the K-State College of Veterinary Medicine, and I will be a second-year vet student in the fall. A little background on the Veterinary Health Center. It was established in 1906 as a small clinic and has expanded into a full-service teaching hospital. It employs over 100 employees and student workers from the College of Veterinary Medicine. The Vet Health Center provides routine specialty and emergency services for all species. Some of that includes internal medicine, surgery, and dentistry. And its emergency services are 24/7, 7 days a week, so there's always someone taking care of patients. They see approximately 25,000 patients annually in the Midwest. The Veterinary Health Center's mission is towards the advancement of health and welfare of animals, people, and the environment through their teaching, research, services, and outreach. And while there is a gap in knowledge of research in veterinary medicine, on the human health care side, healthcare facilities are responsible for 4.4% of the global net emissions, and water comprises approximately 7% of total water use in the U.S. commercial sector. So the Veterinary Health Center has an incentive to track their own resource use and identify processes that may be improved in order to close that gap in knowledge. The Veterinary Health Center is part of the Kansas State College of Veterinary Medicine complex. This complex consists of 3 buildings: Coles Hall, which is for research and faculty offices; Trotter Hall, which is where the veterinary program is located and its respective classrooms and labs; and finally Mosier Hall, where the Veterinary Health Center, the diagnostic laboratory, and research and faculty spaces are located. The Veterinary Health Center is on the first floor of Mosier Hall and is about 180,000 square feet. It can be further broken down into the large animal teaching hospital, which is where our equine and livestock food animal services are, and a small animal teaching hospital, which is where the small animal general and specialty services are located. This next slide is a layout of the Veterinary Health Center, with the large animal hospital towards the back of the building and the small animal hospital in the front of the building. Additionally, there's also the diagnostic lab depicted, but it is independent of the Veterinary Health Center. I had 2 main projects this summer: the water consumption investigation and the lighting audit. In addition, I identified 2 other projects, including the bathroom occupancy sensor investigation and the sharps container audit. The first project was to quantify the amount of water that's consumed in the large animal teaching hospital section of the Veterinary Health Center, and to identify any areas that water could be conserved and potentially save money. The challenge with this project was the fact that the Veterinary Health Center doesn't have department-related meters, so their total water and electricity use is taken for the entire College of Veterinary Medicine complex. So in order to get individual water data, I installed 94 meters on hoses and sinks and collected that for approximately 28 days. And the image below shows an example of one of the water meters that I installed. This next slide shows where all of the water meters are located, with red representing hose hookups and blue representing sink hookups. I divided the meters into categories based on location. Animal quarters are either equine, where horses are located, or large animal, where the livestock species are located. There is also a surgery category and a miscellaneous section for any areas that are not directly associated with animal use. This includes vehicle storage or major walkways. I've provided a breakdown of the results from my data collection. The large animal teaching hospital consumed about 65,000 gallons of water in a 28-day period, with 82% of that coming from the animal quarters, which is large animal and equine respectively. Less than 3% of water use came from surgery, which makes sense because it is a smaller section of the hospital compared to the rest. The large animal teaching hospital spent approximately $778 on water for the 28-day period, with a daily cost of $27. I also compared this water use to the College of Veterinary Medicine complex. The complex uses approximately 5.4 million gallons of water per year, while the large animal teaching hospital uses approximately 850,000 gallons of water per year. This is about 15% of total water use compared to the entire complex. The annual cost for the College of Veterinary Medicine complex is $65,000, while the large animal teaching hospital's annual cost is $10,000. Two possible methods were explained to reduce overall water use in the large animal teaching hospital. The first method was to provide hose nozzles to all available hoses in order to reduce the flow. This would reduce flow from an average of 7.2 gallons per minute, which I measured through the water meters, to an approximate 5 gallons per minute with the attachments. Through observation, I found that some hoses already had these attachments, like the image to the right. After speaking with some employees, I found that they would move these attachments around or take them off entirely, so employee compliance may be a challenge with this method. This method would save about 250,000 gallons of water per year and $3,000 per year, with a payback period of 2.7 weeks. The second method is to install flow restrictors on all available hoses. Like the previous method, this would reduce flow and therefore reduce water use. These restrictors are installed towards the wall and are in an inconvenient location, which reduces the chance of an employee removing them. The potential savings for this method is almost 370,000 gallons per year and $4,400 per year, with a payback of 6.6 months. While the payback period is longer, this method is still recommended over the first method due to employee compliance. The second project was a lighting audit to see how efficient overhead lighting is in the Veterinary Health Center. I found that only 6.2% of the 8,000 light bulbs in the Veterinary Health Center were LEDs, while the rest were mostly fluorescent with some incandescent lights. I found that newly renovated areas, like the large animal receiving area in the image to the left, or the Pet Health Center, transitioned to LED lights. The remainder of the building used non-LED lights, and bulbs that burned out are not currently upgraded. The proposed solution for this project is to replace fluorescent and incandescent lights with plug-and-play LEDs. These type of lights do not require removing the electronic ballast, which avoids higher installation costs. Due to the high quantity of fluorescent light bulbs that will be disposed of, Riley County has a disposal fee of 60 cents per bulb, which was factored into the costs of this project. Here I have listed the results of this lighting audit. With the current lights, the Veterinary Health Center uses about 1 million kilowatt hours per year, which costs about $93,000 per year. If the Veterinary Health Center replaces all of their existing lights with LEDs, they would use about 880,000 kilowatt hours per year, costing $75,000 per year. This results in an annual savings of 212,000 kilowatt hours per year and $18,000 per year, with a payback period of almost 2 years. This project is fairly time-consuming, so it may be recommended to replace lighting in smaller sections over time. The Veterinary Health Center does not currently have occupancy sensors in their 13 bathrooms. I found that foot traffic was often light and certain bathrooms and lights were left on for extended periods of time, so I decided to place occupancy sensors in the bathrooms to measure just how long lights were being left on. At this time, the Veterinary Health Center has signs posted reminding people to turn off lights, but that's rarely followed. You could see in the picture to the right that there is a sign right above the handle, but people rarely follow that. Using the data loggers, I found that bathroom lights were left on and unneeded 65.6% of the time on average. The proposed solution to save energy is to install motion sensors in the bathroom to automatically turn off lights when people leave the room. While researching sensor types, I actually found that the sister building, Trotter Hall, uses ceiling-mounted passive infrared microsonic sensors in their bathrooms, which I have a picture of, also to the right. This building is more recently renovated compared to Mosier Hall, where the Veterinary Health Center is located, which is most likely why there are sensors in these bathrooms, but not in the Veterinary Health Center. If occupancy sensors were installed in all 13 bathrooms, the Veterinary Health Center would see an annual savings of 17,000 kilowatt hours per year and almost $1,500 per year. The installation costs were estimated based on outside contractors, so there is a high upfront cost. It is likely that the payback period will be lower if done in-house. It is still recommended to install sensors in the bathrooms, and it is already implemented in other parts of the College of Veterinary Medicine complex. The final project was a sharps container audit. Sharps are essential pieces of medical equipment in healthcare, and they require proper disposal as hazardous waste. The Veterinary Health Center currently uses red sharps containers that are purchased on an as-needed basis. Using purchasing and disposal invoices, I determined that the Veterinary Health Center spends approximately $474 on 121 containers per month. The Veterinary Health Center disposes of their sharps through Kansas State Environmental Health and Safety, which comes to collect containers twice a week at $18 per pound. The picture to the right shows the pickup spot where labeled Sharps containers are kept until disposal. Disposal is about 27 pounds and $465 per month. The Veterinary Health Center spends approximately $11,000 per year on disposable Sharps. Sharps containers can be either disposable or reusable. While the Veterinary Health Center uses disposable containers, there are companies that provide services for reusable containers. Stericycle is one company that services both human healthcare and veterinary medicine. Their service provides a set amount of reusable containers to be installed in a hospital. With their own disposal service, transportation and any replacements are covered in disposal costs. Stericycle will set up a transportation schedule to dispose of the hazardous waste. I was quoted a disposal fee of over $1,300 per month, which would be approximately $16,500 per year. Unfortunately, this is over $5,000 compared to what the Veterinary Health Center is currently paying. While more research could be done on reusable container services, it is not recommended to switch to this service at this time. An alternative solution to reduce costs of disposal and hazardous waste volume is to place signs over containers indicating what is appropriate to dispose of. FDA-cleared red Sharps containers are Category 1 waste. This means that they are used for regulated biohazardous or medical waste. Any object that is discarded into these containers are contaminated and are therefore considered hazardous, even if they are not inherently hazardous. Materials that are appropriate to discard in these containers include, but are not limited to, contaminated syringes, needles, and auto-injectors. Objects that do not inherently scrape, puncture, or break the skin, like contaminated dressing and gauze, do not belong in these containers. Since waste disposal is charged by weight, proper training and posting signs may encourage employees to properly dispose of their medical waste, and would then decrease the total hazardous waste being disposed of and warrants further research. Listed here is a summary of environmental impacts and their estimated cost savings for the 4 projects in the Veterinary Health Center. These projects would save approximately 369,000 gallons of water, 230,000 kilowatt hours of energy, and $24,000 annually. The total estimated greenhouse gas reduction results in 225.2 metric tons of CO2 reduced.